our guest is our beautiful Katherine Cabrera, and we just had a brief chat before our podcast started. So, welcome, Katherine. So happy to have you today from Texas Online Notary Club.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you so much.
Yes. So I know, this is a conversation I don't find much videos on, but I felt like you are someone that people should have access to. And with COVID happening and all the changes happening, you and I both know every industry is going through a very fast innovation. And so I would love for you to introduce yourself and share, your services and how are they relevant in day-to-day people's lives, and what are the areas that people think that they could have used a mobile notary service, but they just go the harder route of finding a person. Trust me, I cannot tell you how many times I get calls from people. Do you have a notary? Like, what do you do with this document? And I hate telling people during COVID times that you need to go somewhere to do it. So
Right,
take it away, Katherine. Go
right.
ahead.
Well, I am a remote online notary. I'm here in Brazos County, Texas.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, I handle a lot of real estate documents, everything from a T-47 affidavit, which I'm sure you know is regarding the survey.
Mhm.
So it's a beautiful document because you don't have to purchase a new survey if you use this document to swear that you made no changes to an existing one.
Yeah.
Sellers love that form.
Yeah.
So that's something we can definitely take care of in remote online notarization. And then we have more sensitive things too, like a very elderly relative that you don't want to tell them to go to the bank if the bank is even open during these times.
Yep.
That way, and a lot of times if I have somebody who is really up in years, the grandkid will stop by and help them get onto a laptop with a webcam or something, and that's totally fine. They get help that way. And I've got some really great examples. So a lot of people overseas, you've probably seen people from overseas starting to sell some investment properties,
Yeah. Work with them
or
all the time.
yes, or they have an LLC or something here, and they are the one that needs to sign for it, but they're in the Philippines right now,
Yep. Hmm.
and they cannot get to their embassy or their consulate. They're definitely not going to fly back just to
Hmm.
sell or
Yeah.
just to sign some documents to sell or refinance.
Hmm.
Refinancing is a big one right now for people who are overseas.
Hmm.
Um, so just things like that, and sellers packages. Some title companies or individual sellers have sent me the documents that they need to notarize the deed.
Yes. So for the
So
listeners out there who haven't met you before or haven't gotten a chance to utilize the online notary services, um, for everyone out there who's listening, please know that anytime you're going through a real estate transaction, when you're buying or selling a property, or even if you are selling your property in your own family to your sibling or your family, the documentation that is involved most likely is going to require one or two documents to be notarized. And in your conversation coming from a professional, Katherine, it sounds like it is just to verify the person who's signing the document is the actual person, and they are affirming to the paper statement that is in front of them that it is true, right?
right, what you've described is for an acknowledgement, and they are extremely common. And we also have jurats, which are sworn oaths, and I administer the oath over the webcam to the person. So they raise their right hand, they give the oath, they say, "I swear, I affirm." We
Love
keep
it.
record of it,
Love
so
it.
it is just like in person.
So,
Everything is the same.
so Katherine, walk me through your steps. Like, let's suppose you have a client, right? Like, or I have a client who's going to go through a
Mhm.
closing, right? And a couple of families are involved in the sale of the house, and they're in different remote location, and we have to
Mhm.
have few documents to be notarized by everyone, right?
Exactly.
And we can because either some of them are not available to drive somewhere, some of them are not available, they don't have any help available to them to take them somewhere. So
Mhm.
walk us through the step-by-step process that, okay, I call you and say, Katherine, these are my clients, they need help with notary. How can you make it
Yes.
effortless for them? Walk me through. What is the step?
All right. Well, the first thing is you visit my website, texasonlinenotary.com. And on the website, there's a calendar.
Got
So
it.
you can actually just go onto the calendar, choose the open date and time, and it automatically sets and adjusts for whatever time zone the signer is in who logs in. So
Huh?
you're not having to do all the math and all of that. Each individual person involved in the transaction, they can either do it as the same time as others, or they can schedule independently. So if you have people who are 12 hours apart, we
Yeah.
can just set them separately. So I emailed the person the invitation. We need to use a platform. There's special platforms that meet all of the state laws so that we can do this legally. The
Okay.
platform I use, it is called onenotary.us. It's
Okay.
very simple and clean. It's very easy. Other remote online notaries use it. So that is a great simple step that I send people. Email that to them. They upload their document. We
Mhm.
then meet at the appointed time and they go through their credential analysis. What it means is they're going to answer 5 questions. Those
Mhm.
5 questions come from information on their credit report. They're
Mhm.
putting in the last 4 numbers of their social security
Mhm.
number to get that information. They take
Uh-huh.
a photo of the front of their driver's license or state ID and the back of the state ID as well.
Mhm.
And then once that goes through a third-party company that is connected all into the platform.
Okay.
Once that company says, good, this person matched, they got at least 4 out of 5 questions correct, and the ID looks good, then we can move forward. Because, in person, I would like hold the ID, I would look at it, I would feel it.
Yes.
And in this situation, I can't. So the additional safeguard is that credential analysis.
So it
It's
seems
called,
like the person is going to be, let's suppose I'm the person who's using the services. You're going to do a call with me. It's a video call we do, right?
yes, it's over webcam, and
Uh-huh.
it really needs to be a laptop or a computer. A phone is not good enough.
Good
So,
enough. Yes. Okay. So you got to have a proper equipment, like a laptop or a desktop, to
mhm.
access that video call. And once they submit the documents, unlike the traditional process where you just get the notarized right away, in this case, you submit all those things and then they go for verification through you through the legal processes to come in clean back. And
Exactly.
how long does that take? The process.
It's really quick. That's one of the reasons I love onenotary.us because they made it very, very smooth. Most of my people finish it in less than 10 minutes. So it's
Whoa.
really quick. It's only 5 questions, and it's multiple choice. So it'll be something like, what color was your 2011 Honda Civic? Which is kind of funny to think that's on your credit report, but anything that ever had a loan, it's
It's like,
there.
how do you know?
Yes,
How do
and
you
past
know?
addresses. And people will say, well, that's my mom's address. I'm like, well, did you ever live there? Yes, mark that
Yeah.
one.
Yes, yes to that, right? Yeah, I remember doing something like that online where they just kind of were verifying information. So,
Mhm.
Katherine, let me ask you this. Is there a big no-no when you're on a video call? Like, are they saying no to it? Because sometimes the passport size photos are like, you gotta be in this much angle, that much size. Like when we're legal, can I be just
We've
like normal? Like,
oh yeah, no, the normal webcam, and it's pretty simple. I mean, once we get into it, sometimes we'll have somebody who we can't see the video, and we figure out it's because their computer is running maybe Zoom in the background or
okay.
Skype in the background. We release that, and then the video can capture them. But
So
it's
you have
sort
to
of
be
something.
visible, well lit.
Right. And I have my cell phone. I'm very often speaking with the people on the phone as they're doing the beginning steps so that we can just, sort of troubleshoot if we have to. And then I hang up the phone once we get onto the actual webcam session because we'll get feedback and things. So, but we haven't had, any like major hiccups ever, especially ever since I got on onenotary.us because the platform is so smooth. So
Very nice.
I really just love these guys. And so I'm really trying to put their platform forward too because it's great for other remote online notaries. And
Yeah.
I want to encourage other notaries, if you have not become an online commission notary with the state of Texas, do it. It
Wow.
is the best way to serve the public. I mean, I'm serving people in Costa Rica who just found out they have an inheritance and have to sign docs. I've heard from attorneys that Texas courts love notarized documents more than any other state in the land.
Yeah.
So almost everything submitted to court needs to be notarized, it
No,
seems.
absolutely. I'm working with families in probate right now, and it's amazing that if you can just move this piece faster, like sometimes
Yes.
we're not submitting the next piece of document because we're not notarized yet.
Yes. And I've
Right?
had attorneys call me in a panic. I mean, just this morning, one of my notary friends called me and said, hey, can you help this attorney? He needs 4 waivers and he needs them in the next hour and a half. And it was from 4 individual different people. So I
But
mean,
you guys
he's
got
just,
it done.
yes, yes. So
So,
anything we can do to keep business moving forward now and do it legally and right and have them have their documents that they need, it's really great.
So, Catherine, walk us through the possibility. Like a lot of people are, like I'm in Texas, Austin, Texas. You know, most of the people who watch this video, they know me from Texas. Could you speak a
Hmm.
little bit about your extent of services? Like, how can we? I just heard the word Costa Rica. Like, that's remarkable. Like,
Hmm.
can you expand on that a little bit?
Yes, sure. So, in Texas, in the beginning, I will admit, so I started this in April. I started
Okay.
doing these in April. And we all know why, pandemic, but that just really pushed this
Information
forward. This already
happens. Yes.
existed, it just made it popular, right?
Yeah.
So I started doing these in April, and some of the first things I got were seller's packages, and we were notarizing things that needed to be recorded with county clerks.
Yes.
Well, I think I've identified every county in Texas who was very suspicious of these online notarizations. And so I answered quite a few of them. Here's a statute, and they told me, well, we need a certificate of authenticity. No problem. So some of the counties who are very, very particular about what they're going to record, which
Yeah.
understandably so, this is real estate. Um,
Yeah.
they just send me the certificate of authenticity. I sign and stamp it. I mail it over to them. I'm here in Texas, so it's not a big deal at all. And everything is tickety boo. They've got the certificate of authenticity. They've got the notarized document that we did online, and everything can get recorded.
Very nice. Very nice. So, it sounds like this was an invention of the need of the time we had. Like it seems like the same work you're doing right now at a large scale, helping reach masses and
Hmm.
still moving the business forward for people to close on time, buy on time, invest on time, or go through the probate processes, which I know is a big part of the real estate notarization help.
Oh, yes.
When different eras and with different devices are involved, then how are you going to bring all of them at one place for every single thing? So you become a very essential portion of that. Thank you for being so proactive.
Yes,
Now,
thank you.
thank you. Now, like there's any limitation to any country, any place that we cannot video call in?
No, and I like to joke with other notaries that we could notarize for people on the space station if they needed a notarization. So we can. The
You're
only
so
caveat
funny.
is the Texas notary
Uh,
must be on Texas soil. So, if I went over and, visited my family in Virginia, I could not perform remote online notarizations online for them unless I had a Virginia commission.
okay.
So the law applies to the state for the notary. And so all the documents say state of Texas, county of Brazos, when I'm in Brazos County here and I notarize. It won't have the principal, the signers on the notarial certificate. It'll have mine. So we can identify where it was.
Very nice. Very nice. Perfect. So in Texas, people are taken care of. You
Yes,
know,
very much so. And we get a lot of notarizations from other states,
yes,
lots of other states.
lot of spaces.
So, tons from California. Remote online notarization is also really big in Florida. It's really huge in Florida. So,
Florida.
there's Facebook groups and everything,
Yeah.
and I'm on them. And sometimes I'll drop a tip or tell people, hey, look at this site, and trying to get it as prevalent as possible, because really it should be in everybody's hip pocket.
It should be. It should be. I think it should be a speed dial because if you don't need it, somebody need it. And I
Hmm.
literally get a call like 6, 7 calls a week with notary
Yes.
conversations.
Hmm.
So share with me some of your funny stories. Like I know this is not the norm. All of a sudden, people are showing up on cameras now, which I'm very, very, very amazed and pleased by people's self-confidence going up so quickly. Like the same people who wouldn't get on my camera with me sometimes in meetings, now they are
Yes.
happy, and I
Yes.
love it.
I know. I know.
Love it. So tell me
So,
about some of the funny stories.
so, well, not so much, more like miracle. So I really enjoy being the miracle worker for a few
Uh-huh.
of these. I had a really good one last week. So I had a young man, and I could see he had a window, and I could see it was dark. So I knew he was somewhere else. And I asked him, where are you? And he said, oh, I'm in Egypt. And I said, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I'm in Cairo. He's like, I'm a US citizen, but I'm getting married, so I need to apply for a copy of my birth certificate. It's in California. They want this form notarized. But he just wanted the form so that he could get married. And I loved it. And I said, what else could I be doing where I am on the phone, on the webcam with somebody in Cairo, helping him get everything he needs to do to get
Touches
married.
my heart to hear that. Good
Yes.
for you, Katherine.
And then others just kind of in tough situations. Like I had a gentleman, U.S. citizen, again in Spain, with his family. He was kind of funny because he kept walking around with a laptop because it was bedtime and his toddler was screaming his head off. So he kept trying to like walk through the apartment to get away from the sound. I told him, "Don't worry about it; it's fine." And and he was trying to get a Department of Motor Vehicles form for another state done to sign a car over to his sister-in-law. And he said, yeah, I have to file this thing for lost title. I have to do this to relinquish my rights and give it to her for the car because that title is in a storage unit and I have no idea
You know
when
what? I
we're going to
can't
get
wait.
back to Texas to get
This is
this
so
thing.
freaking amazing.
Hmm.
Catherine, what I can't wait? I can't wait for these title docs to be all online too. Like you guys are notarizing legal documents of closings.
Right.
Like let's close from home. I hate people having to drive through traffic, take time off from work for hours and sometimes half a day
Yes.
just to
Yes.
close. That closing happens in 20 minutes.
Hmm. That's
Wow.
100% yes. Yes. There are a lot of lenders and title companies who are doing the
Yep.
full loan document sets online.
It started this year? Oh, they're doing
Oh
it now?
yes. Oh yes.
Hey,
And
that's
it's just
awesome.
rapid change. You know, this change is just it's almost too much to handle because those are huge document sets. They're
Yeah.
huge. And you have to have, have to have a very specialized notary because not all notary publics can do loan document signings. They're very specific and special and you have to know every little step you're doing.
Yeah.
But compound that with now they must have the online commission, the knowledge of the technology, the platform, and the confidence and be able to help people troubleshoot when they're logging on to sign their documents. So
Wow.
we're creating this very specialized animal to be able to take care of all
It seems
this
like
behind
a
the scenes.
full-on business, and kudos to you for being so proactive and, you know, uh, uh, becoming the service and, locking in the opportunity that people need right now. So
Yes, we're
kudos to you,
trying.
very proactive.
And
Yeah.
I've been trying to, I'm talking more and more and more every day with so many online notaries all over the country. It actually started in Virginia. Virginia was the very first to allow remote online notarization. I wish I could say it was Texas, but it was them.
Wow.
Them and the Florida ones, and they're in Ohio and everywhere. So actually, we figured out that we did not have an online notary directory. So, and sometimes people want to go to a notary who is from that state for that document, and I get it. They want somebody familiar and to help them walk through what they're doing. So I actually started onlinenotarydirectory.com. So, if you ever go on my site and it's booked or you need a special kind of notary doing something special, you can go on onlinenotarydirectory.com and you can find one there.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you for such a valuable. And Catherine, we will be displaying all your information at the bottom of our conversation. And people who need us, guys everybody who's listening out there, I know you probably are thinking, okay, notary, where can I utilize it? Don't think, just save her information. You're going to need it one day. And make sure you write mobile notary in it, because sometimes you tend to forget the exact conversation or of the person, but we remember what we need it for. So
Right.
just a quick tip that I learned over time. So
Oh,
Catherine,
yes.
you sound such a proactive, a joyful person. I know there's a lot more to you than the business that we just talked about. So tell me about you and your family. Like, how did you went about? It seems like you're getting busier with mobile notary. I heard you do a lot of refinancing. So tell me about
Yes.
yourself. How did you went about being here today? Like, how did all the business came around for you?
Oh, there's so much to tell. Well, okay, so I'm an Aggie and my husband is too. We met at Texas A&M. My husband's actually from Mexico, so I'm working on my
Okay.
Spanish, but it's not quite there.
Uh-huh.
I could probably do, a vehicle title transfer and online notarization in Spanish, but not much more.
You know, that's a whole different market out there in Spanish. We
Oh yeah.
should, yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, I
Oh,
have her
yes.
on speed dial. Her name is Sharon DaCosta.
Uh-huh.
Online notary speaks Spanish. If anybody needs her, let me know. But and I have a beautiful stepdaughter. Her name is Hannah, and she's 11. And
Beautiful.
we all live here. We're in Bryan, Texas right now, and my husband actually works for a pool builder. He's a project manager, so he is busy, busy, busy. Especially right now, we were a little worried people would stop buying pools, but
No,
they're
they're
not. They
reestablishing
are
their
going.
households.
Yes, since they want something to do. So pool building is massive. It's going crazy. But yeah, my husband and I, we met at A&M actually in the College of Architecture. We both have master's
Hmm.
degrees in land and property development. So that
Very
is how
nice.
the
Very
Cabrera,
nice.
Casa Cabrera came to be.
Thank you, Catherine. You were such a joy today, and I can't wait for people to hear our conversation today and feel connected. And I'm very grateful for every person who is taking a moment and stepping out of their normal ways of doing business and innovating their work and becoming a voice in this time. So I thank you
Thank
for
you.
your efforts. And on the closing note, is there anything else that you would like to share that we should have touched on, or anything else that's important or highlight in your mind?
Well, I should have mentioned that the most common document we are doing online is the power of attorney. So if you need a power of attorney, it is very simple to do that online. But otherwise, I think we've covered everything. And I really appreciate you, Rosie. Thanks for
Thank
helping me
you.
get the word out about remote online notarization. It is a huge deal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So much. And guys, we can easily reach Catherine. Me and her connecting was such a proactive moment. And you can easily tell from her conversation how detailed and how educated and how systematic she is with her approach. So I'm sure you will have a great experience working with her. I highly recommend her. I look forward to seeing you in my life more in one or the other way. I'm going to connect you with one of my very key connections in Bryan College Station area. So I'll keep you posted. Thank you, Catherine.
Igualmente. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You
Appreciate
too.
you.